Well, it's done. It's done. Florida Panthers are in the Stanley Cup Final. And what a way to get there, too. It was a high scoring affair. I think it was the highest scoring game of the series. Coming after, because how'd it go? It was it 3-2? It was 3-2 in that 4 overtime game, 2-1 in game 2, and 1-0 in game 3. This one had a lot of goals, and Florida was up 2-1 after 1. Anthony Duclair scored the first goal. It was 2-1 Florida after 1, and it was it 3-2? Yeah, it was 3-2 after 2. And Carolina tied it. It looked like we were going to get overtime again. But then Florida went on the power play. And the time was winding down. And then Matt Tkachuk got the puck. As soon as he got it, I went, oh, he's going to put it in. And he did. With under 5 seconds left, he scores. Make it 4-3. And that's that. Brendan Moore decided to challenge it because what do you have to lose? And of course, obviously, he was looking for GI again. It was a reach, but again, the season was on the line. So again, what do you have to lose? Of course, it upheld. It was a good goal, and it was party time at Sunrise. Florida Panthers are in the Stanley Cup Final. Second time in franchise history. First time since '96. That magical run back then. And yes, Tkachuk wasted no time touching that Prince of Wales trophy. And that's something. He gets traded out of Calgary, and all of a sudden he's 4 wins away from a cup. It's amazing. And of course his dad was in the attendance, just proud of his son. Of course Matt scored 2 goals in the game. Of course that last one was the one that clinched it. But yeah, it's amazing. For the fourth straight year. For the 4th straight year, the Sunshine State will be represented in the Stanley Cup Final. Of course, the last 3 years, it was Tampa Bay Lightning. Of course, we all know how that went. They won in 20, they won in 21, and they fell just a bit short in 22. But yeah, Florida in the Cup Final. It's crazy. So yeah, every Cup Final. So the streak continues. Every Cup Final in this decade has been represented by Florida. I almost said it's been in Florida because remember 2020 was the bubble, but it's been represented by Florida, and it's kind of similar to something like that hasn't been seen since the 80s when the province of Alberta was in the Stanley Cup Final. I think it was 8 years in a row. Let's see, it was 8 years in a row. Let me count this. It was 83. 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Yeah. It was let you know. Yeah. It was 8 years straight. Of course, it started with the 83 series. Edmonton lost to the Islanders. That was the Islanders' 4th and last cup. Of course, they went back in 84 and 85 and won those cups. It was Calgary in 86. They lost. But then Edmonton returned in 87 and 88 and won both times. Calgary returned in 89. This time they won. And it was Edmonton again in 90. And they won that one. But yeah, so it had me thinking of that. Because it had me thinking of that. Florida, the state of Florida in the Cup Final 4 years straight. The first 3 was Tampa Bay. And this time it's the Florida Panthers. It's crazy. But yeah, and again, this is how it runs like this start. Because again, I think I said this before, but Florida should have been dead 3 different times. Had the Penguins won their game, had won their 81st game of the season against the lowly Blackhawks team, we probably don't see the Panthers at all in the playoffs. But Florida makes it because of that loss, and of course, they were down 3-1 in Game 5. Saw Brad Marchand a breakaway in the final seconds of regulation. Had he scored, we don't see Florida. He didn't, and then the game goes overtime and Tkachuk wins it. And then there's Game 7 against Boston. Okay, they were up 3-2. If they hold on for one more minute, we don't see Florida. But then they tie it with was it 59.3 left? They go to overtime, and Carver Hagee wins it, and they advance, and it's been just crazy. The Panthers, since falling behind 3-1 against Boston, they have won 11 of their last 12 games. 11 out of 12. It's amazing. It's an insane run, and all I can do is continue to eat and digest the crow that I've been eating for the last few weeks. Because I called this team, I said it was Matthew Tkachuk and nothing else, which statistically it was. And I said they were a glorified AHL team, yet this team is 4 wins away from winning the Stanley Cup. So Florida, of course, they'll start on a roll because they're the worst team in this thing. They're the 16th best of the 16 teams in the playoffs. Lowest point total. It's a literal. They were the literal 16 seed. Literally, they were the literal 16 seed overall in the NHL, and now here they are in the final. So they will start in either Dallas or Vegas, most likely Vegas. As for Carolina, well, it's interesting because this is the 5th straight year they've been in the playoffs, and I would think this is their best chance. I really thought it was. This is their best chance to win the cup. Now they're in that territory where they better win, or else some people might get cut, or in some cases fired. Because the common thread in this run is Rod Brind'Amour. He's the coach. He hoisted the cup for Carolina in 2006, and now he's the head coach, but he's been the common thread. Now his ass is on the line. I would think so, because it's been 5 years. I mean, it started with an improbable run in 2019. They made it. They made it. They kind of weren't supposed to, but they made it. Now they better win. So they need to get it going next year. But congratulations to the Panthers. They're in the final, and that's my recap of Game 4. Of course, it's all West from this point on. Of course, Game 4 of the West Final is tomorrow. Golden Knights and Stars in Dallas. The Golden Knights will have a chance to complete the sweep just like Florida did. And it will be set up. And after this, there won't be any hockey for another week or so. Because the Cup Final slate to start on January 3rd, which is next Saturday. So that's my recap of Game 4. If you like this story, click the like button. Click subscribe if you want more. My story about the Hurricanes is in the description below. Check it out when you can. I'll be back tomorrow with a recap of Game 4 of the West. Maybe with the finals set and complete. So stay tuned.